So if you've ever been curious about building a career in tech, think of this as your personal treasure map. We're going to chart a course for an amazing journey, one that's all about creating and problem solving. Let's get started.
You've probably wondered this, right? You're using your favorite app, scrolling a website, and that little question pops into your head. How does all this actually work? And could I do that? Well, the answer is absolutely yes, and we're going to show you how.
The hero of this whole story is the full-stack developer. Now, we're not just talking about any coder. This is someone who's like an architect and a master builder all in one. They understand the entire system, from the button you tap on your screen to the powerful engine running behind the curtain.
So let's break that down. A full-stack developer basically lives in two worlds. First, there's the front end. That's everything you see and touch, the user interface, the slick design, all the interactivity. But then there's the back end. That's the powerhouse, the brains of the operation that you never see. It handles all the heavy lifting, like your login, the database, all the real logic.
Here's a perfect way to think about it. When you're browsing Amazon, checking out all the cool product photos and the layout, that's all front end. It looks great, it's easy to use. But the second you sign into your account or make a payment, boom, you're using the back end. That's the secure, invisible workhorse, making sure everything runs smoothly. A full stack dev, they build both.
Okay, so how do you get these superpowers? Well, every journey has its challenges, and for a developer, that's the learning path. So let's walk through the actual roadmap you're going to follow. And here it is, the 6 major milestones on our map. You start with the absolute basics, then you go deeper with JavaScript. After that, you learn how to build the pretty part with a front-end framework, and then you build the engine for the back end. You figure out how to handle data with databases, and finally, you learn how to manage and release your project to the world. It looks like a lot, I know, but we're going to take it one step at a time.
Your first 4 to 6 weeks are all about building a solid foundation. Think of it this way. HTML is the skeleton of a website. CSS is the skin and clothes. It's all the style. And JavaScript, that's the nervous system, the brain. It makes everything interactive and come alive. Getting these down is absolutely non-negotiable.
So once you have the basics down, you get to level up with something called a framework. And right now, the most popular kid on the block is React. Instead of building every little piece from scratch, frameworks like React give you powerful, reusable building blocks to create modern websites super efficiently. It's kind of like going from building with mud bricks to using high-tech Legos.
Now we head into the engine room. For the back end, you'll pick up tools like Node.js and Express.js to build the server itself. Then you'll need a place to store all your data, which is where databases like MongoDB or MySQL come in. But the most important skill here is learning what's called CRUD, which stands for Create, Read, Update, and Delete. It's the 4 basic things you need to be able to do with data. Okay, learning all this stuff is one thing, but a hero has to prove they can actually use their powers. In the tech world, your projects are your proof. They're the tangible evidence that you know what you're doing.
And let's be really clear about this. You can watch a million tutorials, but if you don't have projects to show for it, you're not going to get a job. It is that simple. This is where theory becomes actual valuable skill.
The good news is you can start building right away. A personal portfolio website is a fantastic first project, or, the classic to-do list app. These get your hands dirty, they teach you the fundamentals, and they give you something to show off really fast.
Then you can step it up a notch. Try building a blog where you have to manage posts and display them, or a weather app. A weather app is an amazing project because it forces you to learn how to grab data from an outside source, an API, which is a huge skill every developer needs.
And then you get to the boss-level projects. Building a full e-commerce website or a real-time chat app, these show you've mastered the whole stack. These are the kinds of complex projects that recruiters sit up and pay attention. Honestly, this is your ticket to getting an interview. So, you've walked the path, you've put in the work. What's the reward at the end of this journey? Let's talk about the career and, the money that's waiting for you.
As you can see, the financial growth here is pretty incredible. Right out of the gate, as a fresher, you're looking at a solid starting salary. But with just a couple of years of experience, that number can easily double or even triple. And once you hit the senior level, well, the sky's the limit.
That's right. Senior developers can easily pull in over 30 lakhs a year, and if you're working at one of the top tech companies, that number can go way higher. This is a field that definitely rewards experience and skill.
And it's not just about the money.
Your whole career can grow and change. You might climb the ladder from developer to a senior role, then to a tech lead, where you're actually managing a team. Or you could pivot entirely and become a product manager, using your technical skills to guide the vision for a product. The options are huge.
So we've laid out the map, we've seen the challenges, and we've looked at the rewards. Now you're at a crossroads, and before you start, you have to ask yourself an important question. Is this journey really for me?
Let's be real about it. The pros are massive. These skills are in super high demand, it's a flexible career, and best of all, you get the power to literally build your own ideas from scratch. But there are challenges. You have to learn a lot of different things. The tech world changes fast, and you have to be willing to practice and learn constantly. This is definitely a path for people who are curious and persistent.
So we end up right back where we started, with a question. But this time, it's not for me to answer. It's for you. You have the map, you know the path. The only thing left to ask is, what are you going to build?